So if you're shopping for a vehicle at a car dealership, one of the questions you'll probably get is, do you have a trade-in? Everybody at a dealership, one of the first questions that'll come out of their mouth is, are you trading in a vehicle? And there's a reason for it. Part of it is to, find out about your story, but also they're hoping you have a trade-in. If you have a trade-in, it's very advantageous for them to do a car deal with somebody with a trade-in versus otherwise. And there's a lot of reasons for it. But one of the first things they're going to ask you if you have a trade-in is, how much do you owe on the vehicle? What's your balance? How much do you owe? What's your loan balance? And you might think, well, why are they asking that now? They're going to ask you that before they give you a value on it. And it's a little bit of a trick question because what they want to do is see how much equity you have in the vehicle. So if, let's say, you have a car that you owe $15,000 on and it's worth $18,000, well, now you have $3,000 equity that can go towards a new vehicle, and they might look at that as an opportunity for profit. On the other hand, if you owe $15,000 but it's only worth 10, now you're upside down 5,000, and they might have some other challenges. So the amount you owe on the vehicle doesn't affect the value, right? The vehicle doesn't care how much is owed on it. It's worth what it's worth. But if you owe a small amount, they might chop the trade-in value. So long as it's more than the payoff, they figure you're going to be happy. Let's say your car is worth 18,000 and you owe 15. They might say, hey, we'll give you 16,000. At least you have equity, right? So it's recommended not to tell the dealership how much you owe on your vehicle until it comes time to actually have settled on numbers, until you have an agreement of a negotiated price on the new car and a negotiated price on your trade-in, right? Don't tell them how much you owe. There's no reason for it. They don't need to know it. It's not going to affect the value. They don't need that information yet. So how do you handle the question? How do you tell them, no, I'm not telling you, right? So here's a couple, 2 or 3 sentences or questions you can use to offset that, to divert that. Number one is when they say, how much do you owe in your vehicle? You can say, well, let me ask you this. Does that affect the value of the vehicle? Does it matter how much I owe versus how much it's... You will be back in your video in just a few seconds. In the meantime, remember that actualhuman.com offers you live one-on-one private video consultation with an expert in this exact subject. We want to listen to your story. We want to hear your questions. We want to give you expert advisement of your options and tell you what we know about your particular situation. Now back to your video. It's worth? Are you going to give me a different amount for my vehicle based on how much it's owed? They're going to say, no, it's worth what it's worth. Okay, good. I'm glad you know that. If they keep pushing you, how much you owe on your vehicle, ask them the same question about their vehicle. If you're buying a new car and they say, how much you owe on your trade-in? I don't know, how much do you owe on the new car? Right? And they might like shrug it off or laugh it off or say, we don't owe anything on the vehicle. We don't have a loan. Yes, they do. Every dealership has a line of credit that finances their inventory. So they owe money on vehicles just like you do. Don't let them tell you otherwise. So if you're buying a vehicle from a dealership and they press you and they're being, belligerent about how much you owe on your vehicle, flip the script. How much do you owe on your vehicle? Right? What does it matter? Right? They might even say that the answer, it doesn't matter how much we owe on it. You're right. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much I owe on mine either. So don't get into that. Now, if you've already negotiated a car deal and that you have your sales price and your trade-in and your payments and everything, yeah, now they need to know how much you owe so they can figure that into your transaction. There's no problem with it then. But don't put that out there when you haven't even agreed on a negotiated price that you're accepting. Once you've accepted a negotiated price for the new car and your trade-in, then you can tell them how much you owe. Until then, that information won't help you at all. In fact, it'll only hurt you by having the dealership know about it. So a couple clever little things. And you don't want to be too much of a wise guy, because if you get too confrontational with the dealer, they might not give you as good of a deal, or they might, not think you're a serious customer. But you can just tell them, look, how much I owe on my vehicle, does that affect the value of my vehicle? Are you going to give me more? Are you going to give me less? Why do you need to know? And they might say, oh, we just need to know so we can figure out the payments. Well, we'll get there. Once we haven't even gotten a car yet. So don't let them jump ahead in the process before they start asking you these questions. Same thing with your credit. You don't want to be getting too much into credit until you've negotiated a price on the car. If you have any questions, you can click the link below. We're glad to do consultation with you or answer questions about buying a new vehicle. Thank you for watching another video at actualhuman.com and describe.tv. Remember, if you have questions or comments about our videos, put them in the link below. Also, remember that you have availability and access to live one-on-one question and answer consultation with a licensed expert in a number of fields: investigations, insurance, surety bonds, civil court mediation, even things like real estate records research, real estate brokers, real estate mortgage lenders. In addition, you're going to find that experts are available in business segments, business development, marketing, advertising, certified licensed experts. So if you do find this content valuable and you want to delve more deeply into a subject, you can't ask YouTube a question, right? But if you want to talk to somebody live, an actual human, use the link below. Thanks for watching.